No matter the forecast, Avery Tire Pros in Newland makes summer the time to drive. From May 18th through June 14th, get up to a $70 reward card after submission when you buy a set of 4 new BF Goodrich brand passenger or light truck tires. At Tire Pros, everything rotates around you, so don't let the weatherman map out your adventure. For service you can trust, visit your local Avery Tire Pros in Newland or online at averytirepros.com.
Welcome to another edition of the Superintendent Spotlight on the Avery County Schools. With me today is a group of young people and a couple of teachers that went to Raleigh to represent Avery County in the recent Science Fair and Academy of Science. So I'll start over here with Mr. Bailey and ask this group to introduce themselves and kind of tell you what grade they're in and what they do at Avery High School.
Well, my name is Coleman Bailey, and I serve as the regional director for the North Carolina Science Fair, and I teach a little bit of everything at Avery High School: chemistry, physics, physical science, earth science, and theater arts.
And my name is Sue Parser, and I teach biology and environmental science at Avery High School, and I have helped guide students through the science project process and serve as co-coordinator for the regional Student Academy of Science competition at Appalachian.
Okay. My name is Spencer Dearman. At the high school, I'm in 11th grade. I play baseball, ran cross country this past year. I'm involved in the drama program. Just recently went to the science fair, and that's about it.
I'm Haley Carroll. I'm a sophomore. I'm involved in a lot in the high school, and I've been to the science fair, the state science fair, for the past 2 years.
Well, my name is Blake Williams, and I'm a freshman at Avery High School. And this is my second year going to the state science fair. I play football, I wrestle, and I do track.
And all of you are excellent students, by the way. Thank you. Mr. Bailey, we've been coming here about 3 years in a row now because of what we've been able to do with science, or what you and Ms. Purser have been able to guide us in doing. Talk to us a little bit about the competition these young people were in, and a lot of your other students, back I think in March, that went down to Raleigh and represented us very well.
Well, about 3 years ago, Avery started encouraging kids to do student research. And that first year, I think we probably had, at the high school level, maybe about 4 projects. And we've seen it, steadily grow since then. Our science department met and decided that one of the things that an honor science student should be doing is their own independent research. And so we really encourage our honor science students to enter these competitions, not just for the competition's sake, but just to learn how to take the technology, the one-to-one technology we have there at school, and how to utilize it in presentations, and how to organize their data, brainstorm with it, and how you can make it into presentations. Now we do. There are 2 competitions that go on every year at Appalachian. One of them is what everybody thinks of as a science fair, where the kids get in front of a display board, a trifold board, and they explain their science projects to judges as they come through. And the other one is the North Carolina Student Academy of Science, which is more like a paper defense, more along the lines of what kids are going to have to do if they go to college and they have to present their research on the collegiate level. And that's basically the 2 competitions that we're involved in. And for the last 2 years, we've actually had a big old busload of kids from Avery County win at regionals and become state finalists, and have been represented quite well by our school system at the state level.
In March, we had how many go to Raleigh?
I think it was 34 total from
I was thinking 34, 35. It's a huge improvement from 4 years ago when it was 0.
Yes.
So congratulations to you too. Now, Spencer, you're kind of the senior person here because you've been with me a couple times. Not only did you go to Raleigh, but you've been around the country.
Yes,
representing Avery County. Talk to us a little bit about your last venture. I think you went to California. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Well, the first time we went, been to Chicago with this competition, and this year we got to go. We had the opportunity, me and my partner, Coleman Bailey, got to go to
the other Coleman.
Yes, the other Coleman.
One a
baby.
little bit younger than this one.
And we got to go to San Jose, California for this competition. That's from winning first place in the North Carolina Student Academy of Science, the more PowerPoint oriented presentation. And so we go down there, we fly out to California, get to eat a lot of good food, which is nice. But what's cool is we get to meet all these scientists from all over the world, because it's at the same time as this as some of the two large science conventions. AAAS is one of them, and so we get to have one of the things we get to do is we get to have breakfast with the scientists. We get to meet a lot of scientists that have been very successful doing their own independent research at higher levels, which is really cool for us, and it's been an awesome experience and a learning experience for me and Coleman.
Now, your project this year was what?
It was on. It was using capillary action to increase the heating efficiency of water, which we used different tubes to use different intermolecular forces. Both cohesive and adhesive water is, and that we use that to create a device that increases the heating efficiency of water, which could possibly one day save people a lot of energy heating their homes and heating their water.
Haley, what was your project? I remember at Appalachian watching you present, but talk to us about your presentation and what you did.
For my project, I wanted to test my ability to make and use a UV spectrophotometer. So,
yeah, I couldn't even explain what it was.
It basically measures the wavelengths of light through a spectrum, and I got some different supplies together and made my own and came up with a hypothesis to find the wavelengths of some colored dyes that I had, because some of them were pure dyes, which I already knew the wavelengths, so I wanted to see if my spectrophotometer would work to show me those. And then some of the dyes were a combination of the two, so I just averaged the other two wavelengths together, and then came to find out by talking to some of the judges, and they were all chemistry teachers and professors. They told me that it doesn't work like that. You can't just average them together, so it was a good learning experience to find out what I did wrong and what I could fix if I tried to do it in the future.
And that's what experimentation's all about, isn't it? Now, Ms. Purser, how have we gone from really no students representing our county and the state science competitions to 34, 35 students last year? What have you and Coleman been able to do, along with the other science teachers?
Right. Well, I think first of all, I want to send out some kudos to the middle school teachers and the middle school programs, because once we were able to get them on board too, that kind of feeds the system, because those that are successful, like Blake, I think was at the state science fair last year when you were in 8th grade, and then came up, so become. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more experiences you have, the more confidence you have, and the more ability that you have to obviously improve your project the next year. So I think that's a big part of what's helped our program to grow. Also, when you have a few students be successful, like Coleman and Spencer, and the other students get to see that they can go to San Jose and Chicago and Washington, D.C., and so forth. I think that's exciting and inspiring for some of the other students. So we do hope to see it continue to grow. There are some parts of the state that don't have many students participating, and Avery County, for being a small county in the state, has an amazing showing at the state level. So.
Well, we have to attribute a lot of that to you and these great examples. Now, Blake, one thing I've heard, especially from you and Spencer, is you're involved in a lot of other activities other than just science fair and things like that. How do you balance your time? I'm sure there's a lot of parents listening thinking, how can I help my child balance their time between academics, athletics, clubs, and all the other things you're doing?
A lot of late night work, basically. Majority of my sports come in seasons, and I usually try to plan all my academic stuff around that, because I had a break between football and wrestling that I did my science fair project, and that helped a lot too. And then a lot of my academic stuff I just have to go home and do, and just try to plan around everything else to try to get it.
Plan and schedule and getting it done. Right. What was your project?
My project was I tested the bonds of cornstarch and water, which when mixed together it forms a solution that when hit turns into a solid basically and still acts like a liquid. And I wanted to see how strong those bonds were, so I shot it. And what my application I was thinking about doing with it is it could replace Kevlar in bulletproof vests as a much lighter, cooler material.
It's pretty fascinating stuff. So we're going to see the three of you probably get patents one day, creating some very expensive material, right? Spencer, you've won a couple of scholarships, right, already, and you're just a junior. Talk to us about that real quick.
Like I say, all these, just the opportunities are really cool, but some of the benefits we get, being able to go to these competitions, things like that, looks great for college and things like that. But being able to have money for college and getting those scholarships is really cool too, because it opens up other doors for me in my future as well.
Haley, there's some young ladies out here watching, I'm sure. Talk to them about the reason to be involved in science and how it can open their doors.
I think it's just a really great experience to go out there and compete against people from all over the state, people who I was in the same room as the advanced chemistry people. We weren't competing against each other, but we were in the same room, so I got to see their projects too. And it was crazy to see the things that they get to do. They're doing their research at Duke and NC State and Chapel Hill, all around the place. It's really cool to see what you're up against out there and what all these people who are vying for the same things that you are, like scholarships and applications to get into school. And it gives you confidence too, getting to get up in front of the judges and show your project and something that you've spent all your time on and that you're proud of and you want to show everyone.
Great learning experience, sounds like. Blake, you started back in middle school. I remember last year as an 8th grader representing us. Talk to maybe our younger listening audience that are in elementary and middle school thinking about, why should I compete in a science fair project?
Well, I just think it's never too young to try something. And you can always try it. If you don't like it, you can always continue. But with me, I had a great teacher that told me I should do this, and I really got involved in it. And my project last year, I was testing fan blades on wind turbines. And I actually built a small wind turbine, and I was testing different fan blades on it. And that was really cool because I actually now want to pursue a career in wind turbine technology, and it's just a great experience to see what's out there and see what you can do.
Maybe you can work with them about fan blades in here to give us a little air. Mr. Bailey, what would you say to a group of parents that are listening about getting their children involved in some aspect of science?
Well, I think the big thing that these types of research ideas do, when we really try to promote just thinking science and doing research. And really, when we start our process in Avery County, we're not thinking about a science fair project or a Student Academy at Science project. We're thinking about getting kids to observe what's going on around them and getting them to start trying to make connections and take what we go over in the classroom and apply it to ways that no one's ever even tried to apply before. One thing that Coleman and Spencer's project, everybody picked up on, the one that got so many accolades in the last 2 years, is that no one's ever done it before. And it was something that they have observed, happening, and then they just decided to apply it to a whole different area. And science, sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be new and novel, but the more application, the more if it has that kind of so what factor we kind of joke about. I think the more that's where society is going. You're seeing more and more of a trend of businesses and things looking for people who can problem solve. And I can't think of anything more than we do pretty much that really puts kids on the forefront and saying, okay, well, here's some things that you say were problems. Now, what can you do about it? And to be able to attack those, I'm always amazed that when you have a classroom of 30 kids, you've got 15 to 20 different projects going on, and you're taking, as a teacher, they're taking you in directions that you didn't even know that you were going no more than just the week before. And it's exciting. Nothing, I mean, I can honestly say I get whatever, but it does me a lot of good to be able to take a busload of kids from the mountain and travel down to Raleigh and compete with, School of Science and Math and these huge 4A high schools from all over the state, and for our kids to be there and be recognized on the same level of those kids and excel. And it's because people always say, well, you're from there, you don't have this, you don't have that, but what we do have is a heck of a lot of ingenuity, and it goes a long way.
And what we do have are some of the best young people, in my opinion, that you'll find anywhere.
Right.
Ms. Purser, Haley mentioned to our young ladies her experiences. What would you add to that to encourage some of the young ladies to participate in not only science fairs, Academy of Science, but science in general about their future?
Right. Well, I don't think gender needs to stand in the way. If you've got an interest in something, we're fortunate to live in an age now where being a female in a career like science, technology is not going to hold you back. If you're good at it, you'll be successful. I really enjoy teaching from a historical perspective in my class about some of the female scientists, and historically, and or at least in the last few decades anyway, that have really made significant contributions, because I think it's important for the girls to realize that they have just as much of an opportunity and an ability to excel. It takes that curiosity, and it doesn't matter whether you're a male or a female. I tell my students all the time that that's one thing I think that is critical for any science. Anybody that's interested in science, you have to be curious, and so gender is not a factor.
Curiosity, hard work, persistence, all those attributes that make these young people such fine students. And we want to thank you for being here. Thank you for representing Avery County in the way you have. Mr. Bailey, thank you for bringing all this to Avery County. And Ms. Purser, you too, along with, congratulations on retiring. We will greatly miss you, but we want to congratulate you and wish you all the best as you become a full-time grandmother, I understand. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No matter the forecast, Avery Tire Pros in Newland makes summer the time to drive. From May 18th through June 14th, get up to a $70 reward card after submission when you buy a set of 4 new BF Goodrich brand passenger or light truck tires. At Tire Pros, everything rotates around you, so don't let the weatherman map out your adventure. For service you can trust, visit your local Avery Tire Pros in Newland or online at averytirepros.com.